inaugural of 6 days international webinar on yoga from 22nd to 27th June 2021, organized by Department of Human Consciousness and Dharmanidhi Yoga Peetha of Mangalore University. This webinar is being organized in connection with the celebration of International Day of Yoga. Yoga is a unique contribution to the world from our ancient culture. It is a universal and evolutionary science dealing with philosophical as well as practical aspects of life. Yogic science is very much relevant in the present day. It teaches to lead a tensionless life with respect to body, mind, and soul, along with the environment around. In the modern days, techniques of yoga are extremely useful for the intellectual and blissful life. In this juncture of time, it is very much necessary to evolve good teachers to provide yoga therapy and conduct research to develop yogic science. With this background, Department of Human Consciousness and Yogic Sciences has been set up offering unique 2 years MSc in Yogic Science under the Faculty of Science and Technology. The department is frequently organizing conferences, seminars, workshops, and special lectures to spread the value-based knowledge of yogic science. This webinar is being organized in virtual mode due to the prevailing situation of COVID-19. This program brings together the stakeholders in yoga like yoga therapists, yoga experts, yoga researchers, teachers, and students. We have resource persons from India and abroad, also got participants registered from across the world. IUCYS, Inter-University Center for Yogic Sciences, Bangalore, has approved financial assistance to organize this webinar. Today, we have Professor A.C. Pandey, Director of IUCYS, Bangalore, as the inaugurator. Padma Shri Swami Bharat Bhushan Ji, founder and president, Bharat Yoga Tradition, Mokshayatanam Yogashram, Uttar Pradesh, as chief guest, and Professor P.S. Edapaditaya, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, as president of the function. We have Professor K. Krishna Sharma, Chairman of the Department of Human Consciousness and Yogic Sciences, Mangalore University. Now it is prayer, seeking the grace and blessings of the Almighty. I request Mrs. Sunada and Ms. Suprita for the prayer.
Urdhva, Hasta, right leg back, Dvipada, Budara, Sastanga, Bhujanga, Budara, left leg front, Hasta, Urdhva, Hasta,
यस्यत्वा रूपमाद्यं प्रभवति जगतोऽनेकधानुप्रकाय प्रक्षीणक्लेशराशिर्विषमविषधरोऽनेकवक्त्रः सुभोगे सर्वज्ञानप्रसूतिर्भुजगपरिकरप्रीतये यस्य नित्यम् देवो हीशः सर्वो व्यात्सितविमलतनुर्योगदोर्योगयुक्तः बाहुपुरुषाणां शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणम् सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिम् अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः.
Thank you, Ms. Sonata and Suprita. Dr. K. Krishna Sharma, President and Chairman of the department, force behind this webinar to welcome and speak about the webinar.
Good morning, Honorable Vice Chancellor, inaugurate Professor A.C. Pandey and Swamiji Bharat Bhushanji, Mokshayatanam Yoga, and all participants, dignitaries, and all our supporters. See, in this seventh International Yoga Day occasion, we decided to conduct this webinar. The importance of this webinar, what we thought means, all the topics are general, but it is based on technical level. Means with the reference to understand the subject, teachers, students, and publics. Why means to remove the confusion of yoga. Nowadays, what happened means because of lack of education in the field of yoga, practicing few asanas and pranayama don't know. It is a problem in the system. So now this is our responsibility as a university, department and faculty members to reveal such a kind of confusions. We should make effort on that line of thinking. We started to continue this kind of education for the public in the form of webinar, workshops, or such a kind of organizing speeches here and there. But now international webinar has taken place with the support of our university, Honorable Vice Chancellor, and this Professor Pandeyji and all others. So what we did means we contacted all kinds of experts throughout the world, mainly in 8 main countries and the whole India, South, East, West and all these area, and very good scholars like Bharat Bhushanji. See, Bharat Bhushanji is an expert in yoga and he awarded Padma Shri Award in 1991 itself. Continuously he is working for yoga only. His breath and daily routine work, everything is, each part of the body, cells also works for yoga from the beginning itself. I know him around more than 10 years, but personal contact with 5 years. Now, he agreed to participate in our webinar. The same way our A.C. Pandey Inter-University Center, Bangalore, even though it is presently situated in Delhi, but with very quick action. Work is important such a way. I asked him by giving the message, sir, what time I can call for you for the seminar is afternoon only begins. I welcome one and all. The same way our press media persons, syndicate members, academic council members, staff members, senior professors, and one and all, I welcome our department students and colleagues, staff, and all these technical supporters. I welcome for this function. Welcome one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have Professor A.C. Pandey, Director, Inter-University Center for Yogic Sciences, Bengaluru, as inaugurator of the webinar. Professor A.C. Pandey was Director, Institute of Interdisciplinary Studies, University of Allahabad, since 2016, before joining Inter-University Accelerator Center. He was the Vice Chancellor of Bundelkhand University from 2012 to 2015. He was earlier professor at University of Allahabad after his master's and PhD in physics. As a principal investigator, he led to the development of 3 new centers in Allahabad University. He is accredited with the development of Nanotechnology Application Center. He has earlier been professor and founder head Department of Atmospheric and Ocean Sciences and coordinator of K. Banerjee Center of Atmospheric and Ocean Studies, MN Shah Center of Space Studies at University of Allahabad. He is also an adjunct professor at Michigan Technological University, USC. He has been member of governing boards and academic councils, boards of many institutes such as INST, Mohali, Nainital, Dr. Hari Singh Gaur University, Sagar, and University of Allahabad. He is a member of many academic societies such as American Physical Society, Ion Beam Society of India, Indian Meteorological Society, Computer Society of India, Biotechnology Research Society of India, etc. I request Professor A.C. Pandey, Director, Inter-University Center of Yogic Sciences, Bengaluru, to deliver the inaugural address. Sir, please.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor P. Subramania Ji, Padma Shri Dr. Bharat Bhushan Ji, and the organizing secretary of this webinar, Dr. K. Krishna Sharma Ji, and patron of this seminar, the registrar, Dr. Kishore Kumar, all the participants, distinguished academicians, ladies and gentlemen, this is really a nice privilege to be with you on the next day of International Yoga Day, especially when I saw the topic, mind controlling techniques in yogic texts, which is going to be delivered by Padma Shri Dr. Bharat Bhushan Ji. Yoga is not only the set of some exercises, some asanas, but also controlling the mind. We can think of minding the mind. And you know that mind is the best friend as well as best enemy, worst enemy of any person. So when you don't control your mind, it becomes your enemy. And if you have the power to control your mind, you can always be you consider mind as your best friend. So many techniques are there, and you know the Indian knowledge system provides you a long list of such schools of thoughts, especially in Indian philosophy. And we have been democratic. It is not that a single school of thought is dominating. It is all the school of thoughts that contributed immensely to Indian thought process. Be it Sankhya, Nyaya, be it Yoga, be it Vaisheshik, be it Mimamsa, either Purva Mimamsa or Uttar Mimamsa, or unorthodox system of Charvak, Jain, Buddha, find different ways to know the ultimate reality, the knowledge supreme. So Swamiji's Yogashram is known as Mokshayatan International Yogashram. So ultimate aim of life is to get salvation from the life, moksha, and get free from all kind of bondages. So these important practices which make you knowledgeable, which make you more contented, is very much required. And you'll be happy to note that we have grown in a short span of time. Earlier, only 40 universities were having yoga sciences, but now more than 134 universities, they have started offering either program or they have a department of yogic sciences in the country. And again, the best part of this center is that we are talking about human consciousness. We have developed a lot in science and technology. We have gone into the details of subatomic particles with different kind of accelerators, but now the quest is to know what consciousness is, and nobody knows about what prana is, what consciousness is, how this body becomes after the death. what happens, where the consciousness goes. So this cycle is not known. And having this facility at Inter-University Center for Yogic Sciences, it is not that we are having all the equipments which are required to measure all those things or have a pratyaksha praman of evidence-based science, but many of the things which are there can be put there for the benefit of the researchers from different parts of the country, from different universities. They can come, they can use those facilities the way the user facilities are operated, and this is going to give a big boost to standardize different practices, different systems of asanas, and different ways of looking at yogic exercises. The motto of this center is Ath Yoga Anusasanam. That means you have to have the supervision of Anusashan. Anusashan is what? Discipline. Discipline is not only limited to your mind, but discipline in all walks of life. So when you start disciplining your mind, you become disciplinary in the sense that you have a good control on all your functions, bodily functions, and passing through a very bad phase in which you have to look at the requirements of not only physical health, but also mental health, social health, emotional health. So this is going to be, this will prove a boon for young students, the practitioners of yoga, if they get involved into the yogic exercises to know more about this and also contribute to the knowledge. It is, we here in India, we do not self-centered. Here, what we do, whatever we have, we try to make it available to humanity as a whole. For me, the planet is one. So for that purpose, if we come with the evidence-based research in yogic sciences, definitely it will attract large many people from across the world, and they will ultimately get benefited. This is what the purpose of having this center is, and also having different departments in different universities, which is being supported by University Grants Commission. With these words, I'll conclude this, and I will again pay my respect to Honorable Vice Chancellor for acceding to our request for organizing such a lovely webinar in which we have Swamiji-like people who are going to teach more about mindfulness, more about how to mind your mind. So these words, thank you very much for organizing this webinar. And I would also like to get excused because another meeting is scheduled, which is being organized in London. So I'll have to quit this platform. I will definitely go through the recordings if it is there. So we'll make kind of repository for our center in which these recordings will be made available to other researchers. Thank you very much for having this opportunity to be with you. Thank you. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, sir, for inaugurating the webinar and for the inaugural address. We have Padma Shri Swami Bharat Ji, founder and president, Bharat Yoga Tradition, Mokshayatanam International Yoga Ashram, Uttar Pradesh, as chief guest of the function. Swami Bharat Ji is the member, governing council of Indian Yoga Association. Born at Saharanpur, Uttar Pradesh, Swami Bharat Ji is the first recipient of the Padma Shri Award in 1991 for his contribution to yoga. He believes that yoga is the best solution to individual, social, international problems as it deals with the mind. In 1971, Swami Bharat Ji founded a yoga center, Mokshayatanam Yogashram, at the age of 20. He initiated a campaign to preserve traditional form of yoga by using the traditional name Bharat Yoga and teaching traditional style of yoga through his school Mokshayatanam International Yoga Ashram. Having traveled a lot, he has been sharing his experience and expertise in yoga with Indian as well as foreign enthusiasts on different TV channels since 1978, regularly giving talks as chief speaker or chairperson of national forums and international seminars. Swami Bharat Ji has worked in Indian armed forces, industries, scientists, schools, colleges, and people of different religious faiths. Swami Bharat Ji helped to initiate and conduct of the first international yoga festival at Rishikesh. He was one of the leading bodybuilders of India and won almost every state award in bodybuilding and finally won Mr. India. From his college days, he has made efforts to introduce yoga as part of the education system in universities and schools. Swami Bharat Ji has honorary doctorate and Bharat Rashtra Ratna beside Padma Shri by President of India. He is member of the Council of Alternative Medicine and Research, Government of Haryana, and member of Inspection Committee and Experts Committee of CCRYM under Ministry of Health, Government of India to promote yoga and nature cure systems. I request Swami Bharat Ji, Chief Guest of the function, to please address all of us.
ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಲಿ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ
Swami, please unmute and please switch on the video.
ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ All I could win in the match. Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Am I visible and audible both?
Swamiji.
Okay. Pranam. Honorable Professor Avinash Chandra Pandeji, Director, University Center for Yogic Sciences, Professor Subramania Aditya G, Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Mangalore University, Dr. Kishore Kumar T.K., Registrar, Mangalore University, Dr. K.K. Sharmaji, Professor and Chairman, Department of Yogic Sciences, all honorable guests, faculty members, and graduates and future graduates of this esteemed university known as Mangalore University, which is devoted to our spiritual heritage, our scientific heritage, our patriotic heritage, our cultural heritage as well. I was enjoying this congregation for over 45 minutes till now. We conduct rehearsals so that on 11th hour there is no problem. Still, all problems in human life have been source of opportunity for yogis. We have always looked at problems not as headache, but as opportunity to grow somehow and to find some new solutions for humanity. When this 7th International Day of Yoga is here, and I think the day has passed, but yoga has begun. Last evening, when I was giving a message to several electronic media and to my students, I said that International Day of Yoga should not be treated as just a yoga day, but we should give it a meaning by making it an International Sankalpa Divasa. The Yoga Day for resolution. Because in our human tradition, Indian tradition, every moment of our life is a festival. And it should be a festival, no doubt. But generally, festivals come for 1 or 2 hours or for 1 or 2 days, and then it passes. And we are again the same person, having no festivity in our life. So once any joy has touched us, it should be a part of our permanent experience. This way, International Day of Yoga should be a day of resolution, and I'm happy that Mangalore University, as per its high traditions, has taken it a day of resolution. That's why, instead of being confined only up to 21st of June, we have started 22nd June with this resolution that yoga has to continue and this voice has to continue, the voice to self. We have been very much mistaken by confining yoga, or rather say popularizing yoga to its physical aspect only. It is further worrying that now it is being taken only just a tool to treatment of a few ailments, whereas it was introduced by rishis as a wonderful tool to treat all ailments, all sufferings of life. All human problems are to be treated wonderfully with the tool of yoga. And it became so meaningful that we forgot that it is a tool. We accepted it as our lifestyle. When I heard about the topic of discussion, it touched me very deep. Not only the topic, because topic is my topic, because every aspect of every limb of yoga is my life. I have practiced it, and then through my personality, through my thoughts, through my actions, through my speech, I have shared it globally. This topic could be expected from a university only. And this university could be a pioneer to think, to discuss, and to find new resolutions in this on this subject. Today, when yoga, which was there to unite our everything, when it was there to unite our society, not only society of a nation, but society, the human society, the global society. Yoga has been the science and the philosophy that blessed us with the vision of Yatra Vishwam Bhavatyek Nedam. An entire universe becomes one abode, where we are blessed with the vision of Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, because we know that we are the children of one same Father, same God. It is the prasada. It is the prasada. Science on yogic science. But surprisingly, we have broken this unity, and limbs have become free, only based on asana, only based on pranayama, and then directly based on meditation and directly awakening of Kundalini. These could be subjects of discussion, but this way we can never succeed in finding the Atma of asana, the Atma of pranayama, the essence of meditation, or the glimpse of realization. Because wherever I go either with my mind, or I go with my complete body. It is not so that I send my ear to Bombay, my hands to Delhi, my legs to Rishikesh. I think it is not possible. Same thing is with yoga. Just specialization, may call it, so-called specialization, that we give cure to our nasal problem through yoga. We give problem to our throat through yoga. we cure our lungs and heart through yoga, it can never be possible. And if we say so, we are not speaking true. Because all yogic limbs are interdependent on what to say of limbs. Even our everyday lifestyle, our everyday food habits, our available environment, it touches the effect of yogic kriyas or different yogic disciplines, may it be dharana, dhyan, pratyahara, or anything. Just yesterday only, a gentleman was saying, what is there in yoga? Just 8 things: yam, niyamasana, pranayam, dharana, dhan, pratyahar, and samadhi. 8 things. 5 yamas, 5 niyamas, 84, and somebody said 4 lakhs or whatsoever, asanas, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan. This is yoga. Nothing special. But nobody has time to keep into. We are becoming specialized persons, but we are losing yoga sadhaks and yoga seekers. We are earning degrees, but we are losing excellence. We are earning position, but we are losing experience. We are earning popularity, fame, and screen appearances, but we are losing love and devotion. It means we are killing yoga somewhere. At least I don't want to be that sinner. I want that yoga should live in me, and I should be the embodiment of our realized souls, whom my 2 beautiful daughters were just adoring. Guru Patanjali. From only I heard. I witnessed the sweet melodious voice of these 2 daughters. They are still living. Patanjali is alive. Kabir is alive. Shankaracharya is alive. Vivekananda, Dayananda, Gajananda, all are there alive. Gorakshnath, Svatmarama, nobody can kill them. Bulle Shah can never be killed by anybody. They will not be a part of history. Lord Krishna, Yogeshwar Krishna will never be a part of history. He is alive with us. You will be surprised that yesterday only I had a close discussion with Lord Krishna. You must be thinking, how can it be possible? But it is. I am what I am today only because I live within these galaxies of yoga. Yesterday I was discussing with Lord Krishna. He appeared before me and said, how are you, Sakhe? You are Yogeshwar Krishna and you are calling me Sakhe? Yes. This is the relationship between Guru and Shishya that we take. You are my Antevasi. You live within me and I live within you. So I call Sakha. Because even between God and the soul, individual soul, the relationship is of Sakha. Sakhya Bhav should be there. That you call for Shishya your Sakha. Yes. You don't see that I call Arjun. Of course. And you are Arjun also. He said, he called me. You are Arjuna also. In 1976, I gave you the award and honor of Arjuna Shri. Of course, I remember. But my parents gave me the name Bharat. My father gave me, my mother gave me the name of Bharat. I say, yes, you are same person. We call you Bharat in Gita. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata Abhyuthanam adharmaste tadatmanan srijamyaham. Don't you hear? Don't you read? Anyway, yes, I do. Anyway, but what is order for me for the day? He said, you have to go to Mangalore University program. Because yoga can live only through schools, universities, and academies. Because younger generation, new yogis have to be prepared from there only. The entire universe, entire world knows I am Yogeshwara Krishna. I am Dwarikadhisha. I am Govardhan Dhari. But all my these identities are because I have learnt yoga in the under the feet of my Guru Sandipani. Myself and Sudama, both were together. No discrimination. Both were the students of same Guru. And this Gurukul, if any Gurukul calls you Bharat Bhushan, you have to go there. Because that is the most rightful place to invest yourself. So most humbly, I accepted Lord Krishna's order and I am here with you. So these persons, I call them person because they were in body. All these persons lived in their body, Nanak, Kabir, Patanjali, but they realized that body was the tool, body was an instrument, and even in this body, at the Brahmande, exist in molecule position in you as well. So, truth within them, and then they find the truth of body, the truth of senses, and the truth of buddhi as well. In today's International Day of Yoga congregations, I'm sure nobody talked about it, but you are talking. Everybody was after this neck exercise, this shoulder exercise. Now close your nostril, inhale and exhale. You will find no prana there. I, being a yoga sadhaka, saying this. It was a meaningless exercise as regard to you. No doubt, for popularizing yoga was the best tool. But it should only be taken as an opportunity. As Lord Krishna found Mahabharata just an opportunity. We make all adversities, we give a shape to all adversities into opportunity. I said, Bhagavan, aisa kaise ho sakta hai? How can it be possible? Mahabharata is Mahabharata. He said that all the time it was not executed only in Kurukshetra. Mahabharata is going on in you as well at this right time. There are conflicts. Going beyond these conflicts, and with the tool, with the instrument of yoga, finding the resolution is yoga. Very easy. Then I said, okay, what did you find there? How could you make it a blessing? How could you transform it into an opportunity? Said, what is this Srimad Bhagavad Gita? Where from did it come? You know? Because these wars, these conflicts, damage even the place where these conflicts happen. If there are no conflicts in our personality, then our life span is increased. If though there is no war in our body, no struggle in our body, and it is utilized in a well-disciplined manner, you can live not only for 100 years, but more than 100. God has given a guarantee. Jivem Shardha Shatam, Pashem Shardha Shatam, Prunayam Shardha Shatam, Prabhramam Shardha Shatam, Adina Syam Shardha Shatam, Bhuyascha Shardha Shatat. What to say of 100 years? Even after 100, you will continue like this. And you will serve God through this body. This is a tool. That's why we called it Sharir Madhyam, Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. So he said that in that conflict, there was only one person, that was me, the Lord Krishna, who was not affected, but who influenced each and every happening of Kurukshetra, Mahabharata. And in that adversity, Srimad Bhagavad Gita was born. This corona pandemic is also should also be taken as an opportunity. This opportunity has returned the purity to nature, the cleanliness to Ganges. It has strengthened the concept of yoga and yogic living. It has reintroduced the importance of health and hygiene. It has reintroduced the importance of each single breath. It has taught us that how precious one breath is. When in second wave of corona, people were struggling for oxygen. That, oh, could I have one more breath? Then humanity realized that the true wealth that God has given us is not these riches, is not these bank balances, is not these golds and gems, but they are all become equal. Even the millionaire, if he invests all his money, he can't purchase one single brick. This is what this adversity has taught us. How united we are, how one we are. It was realized that just 2 years back, people were fighting on the issues that I don't do this folding of hands. This is Hindu system of praying. This is Hindu system of namaskaram. I'm not going to do this. I am not going to bow before anybody. I'll shake hand. Now the same person says, no, thank you. You are okay there. I'm okay here. President of United States of America, President of France, Britain, they have also learned the importance of our system, yogic system of Shaucha. Only first niyama of yoga, Shaucha, and then they could touch the depth of Antarbahya Shuchi as well. So what is Shaucha? Not hugging, not kissing, but physical distancing and closest social closeness. This was wrong mentioned somewhere, and I objected that time also. I submitted my idea to PM as well, that it should not be social distancing, because social distancing is killing, and it has killed so many. Still we didn't understand it. We need physical distancing and always social closing, because yogis have meditated in their caves, in their ashrams, in their shrines. We do not generally meet everybody, but social distance, social closeness is always there. Every morning prayer begin with closeness. I call everybody. I think of Sarve Bhavantu. I think of server. These lessons were refreshed by this corona pandemic. So this assembly is somehow different and not meaningful because it will discuss the deeper aspect of you. Because the deep we go, more pearls we find. The pearls of wisdom will never appear with yogic exercises. Exercise means bodily movement or giving a system for fitness, may it be in akhada, may it be in gymnasium, may it be in yoga hall. But for yogic meditation, we have to go into my hut. Yogic lesson is to be remembered. Ekante, mathika madhye, nirjane, nirupadra. This is the basic condition for practicing yoga. And when I am in my hut, and in hut too, I am confined to myself. I go still deeper into myself. Then I find the power that this individual becomes absolute. If we see a seed, bija we call it. And in yoga, there is bija. We call it samadhi. Bij or nirbij. Two stages are there. Sabij samadhi, nirbij samadhi. Even the discrimination of me and whom I adore, this discrimination is no more. I merge into the bigger existence, the wider existence. Ganga merges into the ocean. And it is always merging. It lives in merged position. What a wonder. This is yoga. It continues to live in merged position. When first time she might have met the ocean, she might have resisted. If I blend into ocean, I'll lose my identity. I'll be no more. What will happen to my exercise that I have taken from that high Himalaya, these plains, and to this ocean? No, I should stop. I lose my identity. The identity, when we become yogi, we are no more Hindu, no more Muslim, no more Christian. No. No, all rivers have to blend into ocean. And this is mentioned in our scriptures. Ruchinam Vaichitrayad, Riju Kutil Nana Pathadusham, Nranam Eko Tamas Gamya Paisam Aranaviva. These rivers have their origin, but finally they blend into ocean. That Ganga is always there in ocean. And you know, after that experience, ocean is there, Ganga is there, merger is there, still Ganga is there. So, if I say that if I become yogi, I lose whatsoever I have, no. No. You will be a further richer person. You will be finding all other things. Now I come to this pinpointed subject, because yoga is a very wide subject and this is my life. So I can continue hours together. I have to meeting, go to some other program also. I'll say one thing. What has yoga to do with control of mind? all scholars will be discussing it. But I'll request them not to discuss it with mind only or with the brain only, but discuss it with experience. Whatsoever excellence is there in books today, may it be Gita, may it be Yoga Sutra, may it be Shadadarshana, or even Vedas. Whatever is there in books today, in Bija Rupa, it was there in sages, in rishis. Even in scientific formulas, we have the principles of given by Archimedes and Newton and so many others. Alva Edison. They did find nothing new. No, nothing new. I'm known for many contributions, but I found nothing. I simply realized with my practice. Concept of Bharata Yoga, it is not after my name. No, never. It is coincidence that my father gave me this name. It is coincidence that Lord Krishna has also certified it. But when I was in Suriname in 2018, and I had the honor of conducting class, and in my class, two heads of state, President of India and President of Suriname, were there. They were attending my session. I said that these are the gatis of Bharata Yoga, and Bharata Yoga not like Vikram Yoga or so. I wanted to call it that my name should not be there, but I had no way out. Because if I say Indian Yoga, it would have been wrong. Because yoga has its existence prior to this nation being called an India, as India. India is just yesterday's incident. When people gave us India name, Bharat Varsha continued since humanity is there. So the exact word was Bharat, no other word could be possible to justify that this is the science of this country. This is the science of Bharata because Bharat Varsha is the motherland of yoga science. So that way, contribution was there, but because of realization. Scientists experimented things, found formulas, then they give it the form of text for people to come, generations to come. Same way, rishis realized. So I would request you all to mention your experiences there. Not only that what a scholar says, what a text says, because any version may be wrong. What I say may be wrong, because this is not your experience. So in your opinion, it could be wrong. If you think my version as fine, it is as okay, as favorable, then still do apply it into your own life. And then you will reach that real truth. Because truth still is the subject of realization, not the subject of conversation or discussion. Our discussions lead us towards truth, as this journey leads these Ganges, Yamuna, and all Saraswati, etc. to ocean. Maharshi Patanjali never made body the subject of or the meditation as subject of yoga. No. When you open the text of Patanjali or any text of related to yoga, you will find the subject of yoga is not dis-ease. Subject of yoga is not body. Subject of yoga is not beauty separate as an individual. But the subject of yoga has been only and only mind, human. In very sutta, he says, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. He never mentions that yoga is the system of treatment. He never says that yoga is for Hindus or for Indians. Never. He simply said, through chitta, vritti, balance, you can reach the truth. Because if there is instability in waters, even you can't see the depth of a pond. The land under that pond, you cannot see because there are waves. So these waves of chitta, these instabilities of our mind, prove hurdle somewhere. So to calm it down, to make it normal, to make it able to see the true reality and true existence, we need different systems of yoga. May it be Siddhikriyas, may it be Yama, the behavioral aspect, Niyama, the behavioral aspect, the asanas, to continue this, to maintain this vessel, this vehicle in which we are moving, to pranayama, to make us strong, calm, and focused, meditation, to make this stability permanent, and then ultimately to reach samadhi. In the beginning, we introduced that yoga subject is mind. But when we reach the destination finally, there also yoga is defined. And they say yoga samadhi. Yoga samadhi. Samadhi is yoga. Now, how to control it? I have reached the position by God's grace that I just drop my eyes and I disconnect from outer world and connect. There are people exercising. They sit, they close eyes. Still, for years together, they feel to connect. Because जंग बोलते ना, लोहे के ऊपर जंग लग जाता है तो उसकी कनेक्टिविटी जो है वो कम हो जाती है, चुंबकत्व कम हो जाता है, चुंबक भी नहीं उसको पकड़ पाता, कहते मैंने से जंग साफ करो. Yoga is way to clear that junk. Or I can make things more easy for you. Let us learn to sit. Let us learn to look at ourselves. Let us start practicing, not exercising. Because exercise will lead us to nowhere. Yes, when I used to do bodybuilding exercises, there was need of exercise. I used to take 7 hours a day, rigorous exercise. It made me Mr. India. It made me Arjuna Shri. It made me Pratap Shri of India. It made me Mr. Dali. Continuous for 10 years. Being a simple vegetarian yogi, I was a champion. And I was mentioned in Montreal, United States. Exercise was required there. But here, we have not. You know, what do you do when you sow a seed? You do not exercise. You simply create situation, as I rightly said, ekante, matika madhye, nirjane, nirupadrave. We simply create the situation, then sit there. Be with us. then we automatically start thinking, what is me? Is this what people look at? Then you will say, no, it is not true. Because years back it was just a tiny 2 or 3 kilo person. Now it is 100 kilo. It is not me. There were beautiful hair. Now I'm bald. There were beautiful eyes. Now there are specs. No, I can't be this. Then you say, then what is me? Then still you go inner self. That's it. You will realize. I should not speak what you will realize because it will be your self. I love a very beautiful advertisement today, these days. They say, if I say how melody tastes, then the publicizer says, the publicity person says, कि melody खाओ खुद जान जाओ. You taste for yourself. So just create a situation, sit for some time and make it a regular habit, not exercise. That I'll sit with me. All the time I have been wandering here and there, running. What for? Everything is perishable. You will carry nothing with you. Only thing with you is you and divine. Even this body is perishing. These indriyas are perishing. Even this mind has to perish. Because it is Ubhyatmaka. It is Ubhyatmaka. मूल प्रकृति अविकृति महदाद्य तस्य विकृतय सप्त षोडशस्तु विकारो न प्रकृति न विकृति पुरुष and in between this mind. It is neither karmendriya nor jnanendriya, but it is indriya. Because it observes everything. It does something when it is involved, and when it is aloof, it does nothing. Mane eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo chittesh chalati sansaro nischale yoga uchyate. This is a two-sided vessel. This time you peep to inner self, and just this side you peep, it is the entire world. Here is peace, here is disturbance. Here is calm and love, here is war and struggle. It is happening. So just learn to sit and then watch, observe yourself. This is the first lesson. Otherwise, what you do when you see a sword, you sow a seed, you find the proper climate, proper soil, proper temperature, proper water, proper light, and proper depth. Depth where to plant the seed. You sow it there, and then you forget about it. You should forget about it. If you don't forget, and every evening you say, this was the place I put the seed. I think there should have been some development. I should have took it. You again pull it out, then see nothing has happened. Then you again put it in the soil. You may continue this exercise throughout your age, throughout your life. That seed is not going to be transformed into a tree. You should give it an opportunity. Be just an observer. Don't touch it. Don't touch its privacy. Then you'll find that after 20-21 days, that seed has come out of the earth in form of a plant with 2 leaves like this. It will happen to you. It happens with me. Because this is the congregation of yogis, that's why I'm being so frank and so fair. Otherwise, if I speak this in public, people will start thinking, oh, he's boasts so much. Because it is not fact for that. It will never be a fact for them. उन्होंने तो हाथी की सूंड देखी है, उन्होंने हाथी देखा ही नहीं तो क्या? हाथी से ही उन्होंने सूंड से ही हाथी की पहचान बनाई. उन लोगों में जब मैं जाता हूँ और योग के बारे में बात करता हूँ, ध्यान की बात करता हूँ, अध्यात्म की बात करता हूँ, तो बोर हो जाते हैं. ऐसे हो सकता है आप में से भी कोई हो गया. और वे कहते हैं स्वामी जी ने एक्सरसाइज तो करा ही नहीं, योग तो करा ही नहीं, वो ये भी नहीं कहते. They do not even say that he has not taught us asanas or pranayama. They say Guruji was talking all the time. He didn't hear any yoga or pranayama with us. Don't know the difference between. Because God has made me able to sit on higher seat. It is His blessing. So I should not have conflicts with any lower experience. I should be helpful. I should try to pick them up, hug them, give my touch to them, and transmit. It is His order. It is His discipline. But I should not have that ego. Whenever that ego will happen in me, I'll be known. That excellence will be no more with me. Because this excellence does not discriminate. This is a long train. One of its bogie is on platform, and the last bogie is tailing somewhere behind. This platform bogie cannot have the pride of being somewhere because it is the same train. Anyhow, I should close. I think you should love sitting with yourself in isolation. Try to look at your real self. And then one story I'm telling about this mind. Have you seen monkey? You must have seen monkey. It's a very popular in India because people, God knows why, called Hanumanji also as monkey god. It is very bad. Hanumanji is not a monkey. Could any monkey become man? Hanumanji is Vanara. It is something new for you also.
ನಮ್ದಾನೆ ಇದೀಗ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು
Hanumanji is Vanar. Vanar means he-man. वो आदमी हो कभी नरेंद्र मोदी, अच्छा वो नरेंद्र मोदी, अच्छा मिस्टर यूनिवर्स, वानर, वो है हनुमान. It's not monkey. लेकिन anyway, there was a monkey, and you know the nature of monkey. It is always restless. Monkey is always restless. If you try to control it, it will not be under your control. It will disturb you. And there are stories that once a monkey picked some mirror of a man and just reached the tree and found man was restless. He said, how to get my mirror back? So he do something else. He offered something else to monkey. Then monkey left the mirror and picked that mango. So if we disturb it, it will disturb us. And monkey is compared with our mind. And not this monkey, the forest wala monkey, no. But monkey who is intoxicated. नशा हो गया, उसको पी लिया उसने, और पीने के बाद अल्कोहलिक है, उसको अल्कोहल दे दिया गया. अहंकार का नशा है ना मन में, और नशा देने के बाद फिर उसको 2 बिच्छुओं से कटवा दिया. स्कॉर्पियो ने उसको डंक मार दिया. 2 बिच्छुओं ने जब उसको काटा तो जो बेचैनी उसकी हो सकती थी वो हमारी है, क्योंकि पहली बात नेचर से रेस्टलेस, दूसरी बात अहंकार का इंटॉक्सिकेशन नशा, और तीसरी बात सुख और दुख के बिच्छू, मान और अपमान के बिच्छू, सफलता और विफलता के बिच्छू, इन्होंने काट लिया हमको. तो जो बेचैनी हमारी तब होती है वो बेचैनी उस बिच्छू की है, उस बंदर की है. हाउ टू कंट्रोल इट? फॉर कंट्रोलिंग दैट मंकी द बेस्ट वे वाज सजेस्टेड. It is restless. If you have a conflict with him, it will be more restless, it will trouble you more. So just be an onlooker. Just be an observer. Don't touch your mind. Don't say that I'll not look at this. Don't say that I'll look here. I'll focus here. I'll focus not here. Don't come out of conflicts. Simply be an observer. And once you become an observer through regular sitting of meditation. There are so many techniques that can't be discussed on screen. They are to be, otherwise if it would have been the only and the best process or the best vikalpa, so then that sutra would have failed, that Guru Padishta Margena Yogameva Samabhyaseta. If one can learn yoga only under the guidance of a guru, under his observation. So from distance, we can simply mention it, that once you are shant, you are peaceful, that monkey will also stop dancing. He'll stop jumping. He'll simply sit with you only. He'll feel safe with you. So once we go in this way of meditation, your mind will learn living with you. Otherwise, you will be running after your mind and your desires are developed by mind, made by mind. So, and desires are no there, and you are contented, meditation will start happening. Na sukham devrajasya, na sukham chakravartina, yat sukham vitiragasya munare kant shalini. चाह गई चिंता मिटी, मनवा बेपरवाह, जिसको कुछ नहीं चाहिए सोई शहंशाह. So kind of you. I love you all. It was a good meeting. I thank all of you for being so patient to listen me, or rather somewhere I may say that for bearing me, because I'm very tough to bear in yoga discourses. And masters are somewhere sometime disturbed. Anyway, but I could win the love of all. I think I shall be able to win your love as well, because I have invested almost 1 hour of my life with this event, and this 1 hour is irreplaceable. We can't reproduce it. Even a single breath we can't reproduce. So I'll request that we all have to give this 1 hour in meeting and discussion, discourses in this 3-day long assembly will certainly bring nectar of yoga for healing. Thank you all. Hari Om, Pranam.
Thank you very much, Swamiji, for being chief guest of the function, sparing your precious time and sharing your treasure of knowledge. Pranamas to you, Swamiji. We have Professor P.S. Yadapaditaya, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Mangalore University, President of the function. He is always encouraging us in all activities of the department. Professor P.S. Yadapaditaya is the first Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University from Dakshina Kannada district and amongst the alumni of the university. He has vast experience as an academician and administrator. He has held many statutory positions in the university. Worked as professor, trainer and consultant at National Institute of Training for Industrial Engineering, Mumbai during 1994-1995. Received an international award entitled eLearn International Award 2003 from Scotland, UK for his best research paper on trends and status of corporate e-learning and Indian experience. Received the prestigious Devang Mehta National Award for Best Teacher in Human Resource Management in November 2009. Worked as the finance officer, the registrar evaluation, and the registrar of Mangalore University altogether for more than 9 years. Member coordinator of peer team National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAC, Bangalore. Served as the nodal officer for Karnataka State University Ranking Framework, Mangalore University. Institutional coordinator for Rashtriya Uchchatar Shiksha Abhiyan, the coordinator of Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IQAC. Recently, he has been appointed by the Karnataka state government.
Celebrated the 7th International Yoga Day in a highly befitting manner. Of course, we all perform yogic asanas sitting at our home because of the COVID pandemic. Yoga, I understand, is a powerful tool to bring about harmony among our body, mind, and little soul. It's a kind of fulfillment, a kind of solace to the disturbed mind. And today in the afternoon, we are also listening to what you call the inspiring lectures or the interactions by eminent resource persons on a variety of topics connected to the human mind, maybe related to women health or wellness or psychological development, health, hygiene, fitness, happiness, yoga research, common disorders, the skills of meditation, principles of yoga, emotional management, or what you call capturing emotional intelligence quotient, then psychiatry disorders, various research opportunities in the field of yoga, yogic diet as yogi, then spiritual and scientific differences in the domain of yoga, yoga therapy, and yoga practice. Yoga therapy abroad, its scope and opportunities.
understanding of yogic texts and the powerful tool of enhancing immunity, particularly in the context of COVID-19 and post-COVID-19 pandemic. Then yoga as a career, yoga in education, yoga as a clinical practice to cure lifestyle diseases or non-communicable diseases. Then teaching methodology, more innovative and appropriate teaching methodology in the field of yoga or yogic science, and various asanas, their distinctive features, lifestyle management, and promoting quality of life through yoga. Therefore, all of us will be enriched in the afternoon and in the days to come, because it's a 6-day webinar starting from today until 27th of this month, 6 days. As a matter of fact, this webinar, of course, there was no rehearsal. I do agree. But there are certain technical snags which held us back initially, but we could manage all those things. But today, in the context of COVID-19 pandemic, webinar is inevitable, it is desirable, and it is relevant. Therefore, I congratulate and commend the efforts of Professor Krishna Sharma and his team for organizing this international webinar on yoga for the coming 6 days. Of course, yoga for wellness or well-being, we do appreciate. There must be 5-dimensional well-being to be achieved by yoga. Yoga is a tool, a powerful weapon to make things happen. The 5 dimensions are physical, mental, intellectual, social, and spiritual dimensions. There are definitely another 5 concentric circles which make all the difference. The first one is the individual level. That is the innermost concentric circle. As an individual, we must be able to achieve our own holistic development of the personality. As the National Education Policy 2020 talks about yoga in education and bringing about holistic development of the personality of the students. Through yoga, we must be able to unleash and unlock the human potential within every student. Therefore, the choice-based program, therefore a kind of cafeteria approach, therefore multiplicity, multiple exit. The point is, students must be given opportunity to choose their courses, to choose their academic programs, to choose their teachers, and the mode of teaching, learning, and evaluation. So it means it's basically student-centric. And that means the attitude and the discipline of the learner should be taken care of. That is the individual level, the first or the innermost concentric circle. The second one is the family well-being, the family members, yoga at home. It means yoga should also encompass family wellness or the family well-being. Because as an individual, I am one of the members of my well-lit family. That's the second concentric circle. The third concentric circle is the community. We should take care of the community. Today, COVID-19 pandemic made us realize the fact that our health resides in the community. Therefore, we cannot neglect the importance of health in the community. Therefore, yoga at the level of the community assumes the third level of the concentric circle. The fourth level of the concentric circle is inevitably what you call society at large. What is society? Society is nothing but a group of communities. Therefore, a group of communities will make up a beautiful society with a lot of harmony and a kind of integration. Therefore, you must find the practice of yoga at the societal level for the societal well-being. Then at the fifth concentric circle, we have got the nation, because nation should always come first. Then character must. Both will be taken care of by yoga, because yoga was originated in India more than 5,000 years ago. It is the valuable gift of the Indian ancient wisdom. It means Bharat wisdom. So that is very, very important. In Bhagavad Gita, I am always reminded of the fact, or particularly the confession of Arjuna. Arjuna confesses and tells Lord Krishna, "Oh Lord, I can control the wind, but not my mind." So mind management is very, very important. Mind over the matter is very, very crucial. According to our Avinash Pandeyji, he has rightly said in his inaugural address, mind could be your friend or foe. Mind could be your friend or your enemy. It's a double-edged sword. It cuts both ways. When you are in a position to handle your mind, manage your mind very compassionately, then mind will serve as your noble friend. But when you are not in a position to control the mind, when you are not in a position to manage your mind, when you are not in a position to handle your inner consciousness, then it will trouble us. That is what Avinash ji rightly pointed out. And yoga will make us free from all bondages, a kind of emancipation, free from all bondages. That's very, very important. That is a kind of solace, a kind of inner comfort which we'll experience when we perform yoga. That is what samadhi state of mind. And as rightly pointed out by the inaugurator of today's inaugural program, Professor Avinash Pandeyji, 134 universities of India adopted yogic science in their curricula. So it means yoga as an art or science and profession is becoming very prominent, not only in India, but also abroad. But the point is, we have to discipline our mind, and yogic practice is always evidence-based and research-informed. That is what the inaugurator rightly pointed out. So it means the point is understanding our conscience and consciousness. Because I understand unconscious mind is useless. Because normally we say brain dead people. You are medically dead but clinically alive. You are a useless vegetable. So I am not interested in unconscious mind, nor even yogi is interested in unconscious mind. Next comes conscious mind. We are conscious of ourselves. We are conscious of our environment. And we are conscious of our people around us. But we should never become over-conscious. That is very, very important. It means handling our consciousness is very, very important. Then we are getting dreams through our subconscious mind, the third stage. Subconscious mind means it is not unconscious mind. It is not conscious mind because you are fast asleep. You are getting dreams, beautiful, or even nightmares during your dreams. So it means your subconscious mind will influence. That is what Sigmund Freud talked about, ego and superego. He's a dream psychologist. So that is the point of subconscious mind. Then a perfect yogi will also experience, like our Swamiji, who delivered a very, very monumental address. I was thoroughly impressed by the way in which he touched my heart, mind, and soul. That's very, very important here, super conscious mind. Normally we say sixth sense. No, beyond that. Super conscious mind can be only personally experienced by a perfect yogi, a confirmed yogi. So it means balanced mind, balancing both right hemisphere and left hemisphere of the mind, and you can become a balanced personality. That's very, very important. It is yoga is not just for exercise and relaxation. It is much beyond that. That is what the learned people confess. Swami Bharat Bhushan Ji, an expert in the traditional style of yoga, he has been practicing yoga, preaching yoga right since 1978. That's really wonderful, because traditional style of yoga must be blended with the modern lifestyle, then only we can cure lifestyle diseases. And we can definitely popularize yoga or yogic practices by touching the hearts and minds of youngsters, the middle-aged people, and the senior citizens, for each and everyone, because yoga transcends all the boundaries and barriers. Therefore, yoga is the most secular part of our existence. That is, I do appreciate. And Swamiji rightly said, problems must be viewed as opportunities. For instance, COVID-19 pandemic did not just create crisis, but also it opened up a new window of opportunities. So it means International Yoga Day. We celebrated yesterday, the 7th International Yoga Day. Swamiji opined that it was not just International Yoga Day for a day for the sake of yoga or for remembering the significance of yoga. It should become International Sankalp Divas. It's a day of resolution. Let me resolve that I will rededicate myself to the principles of yoga, the science of yoga, the art of yoga, the profession of yoga. That is nothing but recommitment of our body, mind, and little soul for the cause of yoga. Therefore, we have to spread this idea, because the Bharatiya Sanatana Dharma, the Tattvadarsh, the ideas, the principles talk about what Swamiji rightly reiterated, that is, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So we'll always preach Shanti Mantra. So it means we want inner peace. We should always listen to our inner voice, and we should carefully, purposefully, with a sense of pride and direction, watch our inner ethical compass for seeking inner ethical directions for doing rightful things. That is what dharma, that is what karma. In between dharma and karma, we have got marma. Marma can be understood only through the practice, the religious practice of yoga. That is what I understand. So it means we want to promote universal well-being. That is possible only when we are universally compassionate. That's very, very important, because interdependent yogic limbs, that is what Swamiji said. Yogic kriyas, they strongly believe in this kind of interdependency. It is not dependency, it is not independent approach, but it is definitely interdependent philosophy, which will make it more meaningful. That is what Swamiji rightly said. We are earning degrees, but of course we are losing what you call excellence. We are losing love. We are losing compassion. We are losing affection or devotion. We are losing a kind of sense of purpose, pride, and direction in whatever we do. So it means ultimately we are becoming useless. That is what he says in his Atma Sandhana. So Atma Anusandhana, Swamiji rightly observed. Yesterday he had kind of interaction with Lord Krishna. Very beautiful. It's a kind of super consciousness. It's a kind of eternal experience. And through Swamiji, I also started getting that kind of experience in recent days, because self-hypnosis, a self-hypnotic style is possible only when we perform what we call transcendental meditation. That is, I have been doing every day whenever I find free time. That's what you live within me and I live within you. That is the interaction between an individual and the Almighty. That is possible only when you enter into the domain of super consciousness. That is possible through yoga and meditation. So it means Yogeshwar Krishna. That is what he said. He is not just Lord Krishna. He is Yogeshwar Krishna. That is what we must understand. A kind of science and spirituality should shake hand. Science and spirituality can shake hand through yoga, because yoga is discovered as a powerful tool through yoga madhyam, sharir madhyam, dharma sadhanam. That is what Swamiji said. It means through yoga madhyam, we can discover our inner self. Swamiji said, we have to see a seed of good in every adversity. Don't curse your bad fortunes. We should thank our stars, because even in spite of all these problems, difficulties, impediments, retarding factors, or bottlenecks, still we continue to excel in whatever we do. By the grace of God. By the grace of God means God resides in me. That is my breathe. That is what Swamiji said. It is our breathe. Therefore, purity of nature, the powerful health, hygiene, the breathe created by COVID-19 pandemic, the other side, the positive side of this pandemic. So his lecture was really divine in nature. It was educative, informative, highly absorbing, engaging, and enlightening for me. Really, on behalf of Mangalore University, I profusely thank Swami Bharat Bhushanji, Padma Shri Swami Bharat Bhushanji. We remain grateful to you. I want to listen to you several times, because it is really a kind of solace for me. Therefore, again, he highlighted another important point. All of us should remember, during COVID pandemic, it is not social distancing. Even I hate the term social distancing. It is only physical distancing. Social closeness should be there. We should connect the disconnected minds through yoga. That is what Swamiji said. It is possible only when we go deeper into ourselves by performing meditation. It is nothing but digging into the deeper shell of the human being. It means engaging yourself, undertaking an inward journey and asking a fundamental question, what I am and what I am up to. That is possible through transcendental meditation. So go deeper into yourself. Continue to live in merged position. That is what he compared ocean, rivers, and ultimately you retain your individuality. Know yourself and be yourself. Be alert, be attentive, understand what you are, and project yourself as the inner aspect is powerful, because Swamiji strongly believes in his intrinsic ideas. That is what he say. Yoga is my life. 1 hour, yes, that is my life. I interacted with you in this international webinar. It is really heart-touching. It's a true moment of golden truth. That is what I understand. We should always discuss with experience, he said. I strongly agree with that point, because by reading yogic textbook or listening to 100 hours of yoga lecture may not take us anywhere. We should practice yoga and understand and realize the benefits of yoga through our lived-in experience. That is what Swamiji says. Then only we have got powerful endorsement of whatever we communicate through our speech. So discuss with experience. Human mind, and we should always discover our inner self. That is what Swamiji reiterated. Another important point, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Wonderful. Control the instability of mind, because your international webinar is revolving around the mind management strategies, and the powerful weapon of yoga samadhi. You are reaching that kind of state of mind. That's very, very important. And it is really fortunate to have our Padma Shri Swami Bharat Bhushanji as our chief guest for this International Yoga Day. Swamiji, you really made this day a unique one, monumental one, because vegetarian yogi becoming bodybuilder, unimaginable, incredible, unthinkable, but yet it is possible. You made it possible because of your courage, confidence, and conviction in the traditional ancient Indian or Bharat wisdom called yoga. Divinity of the soul you can experience. That is only it is possible, as you have rightly said, we should experience egolessness. I am zero. That kind of zeroing in, that is nothing but the enlightenment. And I once again congratulate Professor Krishna Sharma and his team for organizing this 6-day international webinar in a highly befitting manner. I wish you all the best, and I request all the participants to make the best of every moment of truth during the next 6 days. And I thank you for the opportunity and your time. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.
For sparing your precious time for us in spite of your busy schedule and gracing the inaugural by presiding the function. Thank you, sir, once again. I request my colleague, Dr. Udaya Kumara K, to propose the vote of thanks.
And dear participants, as we are towards the end of the inaugural function of the International Webinar on Yoga, it is our duty to remember all who have taken the part in organizing this webinar and inauguration function in particular. On behalf of the Department of Human Consciousness and Yogic Sciences, Dharmanidhi Yoga Peetha, I thank our beloved Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor P. Subramania Adapaditaya, who presided over the function, encouraged and fully supported us to organize this international webinar. We are so grateful to you, sir. I thank Professor Avinash Chandra Pandeji, Director, Inter-University Center for Yogic Sciences, who inaugurated and given the inaugural address for the 6 days international webinar, and also sanctioning financial grant to organize this international webinar. We are so grateful to you, sir. I thank Padma Shri Swami Bharat Bhushan for sharing his tremendous knowledge of yoga and ancient yogic texts in spite of his busy schedule during this occasion of International Yoga Day. Thank you, Swamiji. I thank our respected registrar, Dr. Kishore Kumar CK, for his guidance for organizing this webinar. I thank all the participants for attending the inaugural function, as we have got 378 registered delegates. Hope they will be joining for the sessions. I thank the university administration, teaching and non-teaching faculty for their continuous support. I thank Kosa Kural 24/7 TV for their live telecast of the program. Thank you, the director, Mr. Vidyadhar Shetty and his team. I thank the media who have given wide publicity of the program. I extend my gratitude to the chairman and all the staff, research scholars, students of the department who are working day and night for organizing this webinar during this pandemic condition. Thank you one and all.
Kumar, the webinar is for 6 days up to 27th from today. The presentations will be from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Indian Standard Time every day. All of us join once again in the afternoon at 3 p.m. for today's presentations. We have come to the end of the inaugural. Thank you. Thank you one and all.